Turn the Notch on your MacBook into an incredibly useful dynamic island-style dock, an email app with actually useful, game-changing AI functionality, and a really easy way to share photos, videos, whatever files you might have from your Android device to your Mac. In this video, I'm going to show you these apps and even more incredibly useful Mac apps that you need to check out. First up, we have NotchNook, and this app makes your Notch basically a dynamic island, but with way more functionality. So not only do I get a media player here with album artwork that works with all media apps like Spotify, Apple Music, or literally anything that's playing audio on your computer, so even YouTube videos and Safari. You can also get access to shortcuts. So like for me, I have custom shortcuts set up to open up any app quickly, like Slack. And I also have my calendar set up here. And then there's some quick notes, different corresponding shapes for different notes that you can write to yourself and have up at all times. And there's a mirror, which basically turns on your FaceTime camera so you can get a quick look at yourself to see how things are before you jump into a meeting. That's not all though. Notchbook also provides you with the ability to drag and drop files into a tray that you can then move around to another location on your Mac, or drag and drop directly into an AirDrop tile so that you can send it to another device really quickly. The app has a subscription for like $3 a month, but I just recommend getting a license that lasts you a lifetime up to 5 machines for only $25, which I highly recommend. There are also other apps like this out there, and I think one might be free, but I didn't really enjoy using those ones as much as I like NotchNook, but go for it. You can try them out. Just Google it. I did purchase this app myself. This is not sponsored by any means. Nothing in this video is sponsored, but people always ask. So just for full transparency, I did actually purchase this one myself. Our next app has a very similar function to NotchNook's tray feature, and it works pretty much the same way, but you don't need to have like a special MacBook with a notch on it. Dropover allows you to just simply grab a file, then you give your mouse a little wiggle, and then all of a sudden a box will pop up, and you can place that file inside of the box, and then you pull up another location that you want, that box stays present, and then you pull the file off the box and into wherever you need to drop it. You can also drag and drop this directly into some tiles that trigger different functions like sending it via mail, messages, and even AirDrop. There are tons of other features available for power users out there, but I like this very simple primary function that I just mentioned. One of my favorite apps on the Mac right now has to be Shortwave, which is an email app that has some incredibly useful AI functions built in. Like for real, the AI is actually useful here. So some examples include having AI organize your inbox by archiving low priority threads. It can create to-do lists, which puts them at the top. So your emails that require responses or actions, it'll make it into a to-do list. You can apply labels and so much more. All you have to do is tap the AI button in the top left corner, and it'll begin scanning all of your emails and start archiving, creating those to-dos, etc. But it doesn't stop there. The AI assistant can now summarize any email with one click. You can get instant AI replies to emails, but what makes this unique is that the assistant actually reads all of your emails and kind of determines the style that you usually write in, and so it tries to mimic your style rather than create a new one that's not how you would normally interact. So it's much more natural, and once you get a reply, you can tweak it by typing out different prompts or insert it into a draft or create an entirely new email to send. Honestly, I'm not going to be showing my personal email here because, well, it's a lot of sensitive stuff, but I have some of the B-roll that is provided from Shortwave, but I use this daily for asking AI to gather a list of my emails that need a follow-up response, for example, and then I have it reply to all of them at once if it's like a generic blanket statement. If I have an email asking for my shipping address and whether I want to review something, I can just say, respond yes and send my address. And it goes through my emails, it figures out what my address is because I've sent it before, and it immediately adds it into that email and gets sent off. Other things that really blew my mind was I got a list last week of like a bunch of things that I needed to do for my week in San Francisco for Samsung. And there was a bunch of calendar specific things that didn't create calendar invites. I asked Shortwave's AI assistant to create an invite for everything that's in this email, and it broke off like 5 or 6 different things, all with the correct information and the time, and then added it to my Google Calendar without any work on my end. It was absolutely incredible. Now, I've used the free version first, and I do think that's probably good enough for most of you out there, especially if you're just using this by yourself and you don't require like a team situation for work. But there are subscription prices that are pretty reasonable if you want. It starts at $7 a month, and then it just kind of goes up from there depending on what you need. I'll admit this email app isn't perfect despite how much I'm hyping it up. The design can be cluttered right out of the gate, but what makes it really good is that there's so many customization options that you can tweak and get this app to your liking that I feel fully confident that if you don't like it at first, if you mess around in settings enough, you'll definitely get it to the way you want it. Ice is a pretty simple app here that can clean up your menu bar with just a few simple clicks. Everything to the right of the dot will remain visible at all times, and these will be your crucial apps that you need visible at all times. You can then drag and drop the unnecessary stuff that kind of gives you all that clutter to the left side. Then all you need to do is just hover over that left side to see any of the apps that are hidden whenever you might need them. Now, there are other functions available for this app, but this is all I need. It's just a way to get a very clean and neat menu bar. Latest is another simple app that gives you a look at all of your apps on your Mac that need to be updated. So whether or not they're from the Mac App Store, or more importantly, apps that you have downloaded from a website that are not part of the App Store, this gives you a list of everything that you can download and install updates for without having to like go to the website, on your own or figuring it out on your own. This just makes it a really easy way to update everything all at once in one location. This app is also free, but the dev is accepting donations, so I highly recommend supporting small developers like this if you can, so that these useful apps can continue to remain free. Rocket is another app that has one very specific use case, but it is really useful, and that is the ability to add in emojis in any app quickly and easily. All you got to do is just simply press the colon key and then start typing the name or the description of the emoji that you want. So I can do this inside of notes, messages, Twitter, YouTube comments, whatever it might be, any text where emojis can go in, and it'll add those emojis in the app's style, since everyone seems to want to make their own for some reason. But I just type in a colon, I type in eyes or heart or whatever it might be, thumbs up, and it'll bring that for you. And there is a free version and a pro version. If you need the pro version for like adding GIFs and images or symbols, you can do that, but the free version works just fine for me. Lastly, I have two apps here that make it incredibly easy to share content from one device to another. So first, we have a fantastic solution for airdropping files from Android devices to my Mac, which is something that I need to do quite often. So when I was reviewing the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, which, shameless plug, you can see my camera comparison in the card here in the upper right corner, but I need to send photos, videos, and any file really to my Mac so that I can use it in the video. And plugging it in for some reason in 2025 is still not a very easy or viable option. So if you download Local Send on your Mac and Android device, and if you're connected to the same Wi-Fi, you can easily share these files to and from each device. And it's really, really quick and super easy. The app is secure with end-to-end encryption. It's free, which again is always nice, and it's multi-platform. So it's not just limited to Mac and Android, but you can use this with iOS if you want to, Windows, and even Linux. Another option for sharing stuff is Hyperduck. Now, this is a very specific use case, and before you say, oh, I think I could just do that by airdropping those links to your devices, I don't need to download this app, sure, but you can't do this specific thing. Installing Hyperduck on your Mac and your iPhone is what you need to do first, and then whenever you're browsing the web and you need to share a web page to your Mac, if you want to read it later at like the office or on your home desktop, you just share it using Hyperduck. Then when you get to your Mac, the page will automatically just open up. This works anywhere in the world, wherever you might have internet connection on your iPhone, and the Mac doesn't even need to be powered on. It could just be dormant, laptop lid closed, whatever it might be. And then the moment you open it up and connect it to Wi-Fi, this web page will automatically appear. So obviously it's different than AirDrop because you don't actually need to be anywhere near the device to send those links or articles or, tweets or whatever it might be to your Mac. I could be here at my office and send something to my home computer, and I'll have that waiting for me whenever I get to that Mac. So I think this is a little bit better than what I usually do, which is like throw it in the reminders app and then forget about it, or throw it in a text to myself and then forget about it. This just presents the web page immediately. There is a $4 one-time fee, but it's way better than having a subscription, and I recommend it. So that's it. Those are my 8 apps that I think are incredibly useful and definitely worthy of your time and checking it out. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have any other apps that you think are useful that I should check out, definitely let me know in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.